Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. My Orchid Society meeting last night. I do try and keep my hands in my pockets. I don't really need any more orchids. Yes, I can find space, but I do have to find it now. It's not there shouting at me, but I've still got some space. But when I see a species of a genus that I've already got and I'm growing reasonably successfully, and they're practically giving it away, I'm afraid the hands came out of the pocket, so I did buy a plant last night. I bought this little one here. There's a guy that's moving house basically, so he's got to downsize in preparation for the move. And this is a lovely little Miltonia flavescens. I've stolen a picture off the internet, off a site that has a set of rules, and within those rules there is no mention of copyright of images posted on that particular site, and the individual picture has no copyright mentioned, so hopefully it's okay. But if anybody gets upset, I can always remove it. But it's not a bad little plant. It's got two nice strong new growths, one there and another one in the middle of the plant there. Actually, it's got three. There's another one round the side. So there's potential for three new growths to actually bloom. It is a blooming size plant. It is that size. It's not going to get much bigger than that, if at all. The largest pseudobulb is one of the old leafless ones buried down in there. And another one a little bit buried. But yeah, that's about its size. The flower spike is quite long. It comes out sort of 10 to 12 inches and has, well, anything up to a dozen blooms on it, and they are fragrant. So yeah, and I mean that was £4. It's not exactly a lot of money for a mature orchid, is it? I mean, I haven't got a clue what's in the pot, but I will deal with that. So yeah, it's not a bad little plant. Well, certainly the new leaves are nice and clean, nice and bright. No marks. It's got live moss growing on the top. I mean, I know who it came from, and that is one of his traits. He always gets live moss going on the tops of his pots. But yeah, nice little plant. Haul of one. It is a mounts watering, daily watering, day to day. So I may do some cutting room floor clips. I'll see how I go, but I do need to get a bit of a move on today, so I'm not sure how much, if any, of that type of filming I will do. But yeah, nice little plant, pleased with that. In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. The fact that it's got new growths on it that are coming up to maturity, but they're not tiny little new growths, I thought I'd better have a look in the pot and see where we are with root production. And I went, you're coming out of there. That's rockwool. I cannot stand that stuff. I dislike that even more than the coconut fibre stuff. It stays wet far too long, and I'm not sure whether that is actually a good root system or a root system that's on its way out. But you know, with pseudobulbs buried right down that low, and that pseudobulb can come off, I think I'd better get on and get that out of the pot. I mean, I can feel it. It's dripping in my hand. It's absolutely wringing wet. Now, Miltonias don't mind staying gently moist, but they're still best looked after like oncidiums, which means they should be bordering on dryness before you water them again. They need air around the roots. Yeah, they've got air around the roots, but you know, the humidity in that pot is 100% all the time with that stuff. So they never really dry. And unfortunately with rockwool, one of its traits is that if it does get bone dry, it's an absolute pig to try and re-wet. The water just runs off the stuff. I can't stand it. So I think I'd better get on and do that. And it's certainly not getting any more water. You know, I might even leave it out of the pot and let it dry a bit. Let's just leave it like that for a bit, let it air off. It's absolutely wringing wet. There's no way to look after that sort of plant. I shall have words. Anyway, I'm just going to let that air off a little bit, and if the rock rock wall that it's in totally dries out, all the better, because it'll make repotting easier. But yeah, that's going to go high on the list, maybe even next. But yeah, I don't see any dramatic signs of new roots under those new growths. So they either came out when the new growths were very tiny, and that's what's left of them, or they haven't produced them yet, which means it's a flipping good time to get it repotted anyway. But either way, this is one of those where repotting takes priority over anything else. I'm not leaving it in that stuff. So we'll have to get on with that. See you next time. Quick demo of what I mean. Some of the bits that fell out of the pot. On a tiny little piece like that. Oh, I hate that stuff.